it legal? Uh, Michigan, Midwest, Ohio, Indiana, every state is different. But in the video, they talked about is it legal to cross white lines? It is prohibited, but in some cases, if you have to cross a white line, you may. But if you're crossing a white line to cut off a car, it will definitely get a ticket. So my advice to you, use common sense. If you're crossing a white line to cut off a semi truck and then you get killed, that's your fault. But if you crossing a white line to maybe prevent an accident, that's something different. I think a lot of beginning drivers take signs and signals at a very literal sense because they really govern what we do on the road. Okay, if you have a broken white line, you can change directions. If you have a solid double line, you cannot pass. Most of you understand this, but the problem is, can I cross a white line? Will I get in trouble? It depends on when you cross it, where you cross it. Typically, what I see when you guys are learning to merge on the expressway, you don't have enough speed, you cross the white line immediately, and then cars cut us off. It's because you didn't build up enough speed and wait for the white line to be broken. So to kind of help you understand that, and that's one of the first steps that I would see. And I'm answering this from a driver's ed perspective and an instructor perspective to help you become safe. Because if you don't learn with me, you're going to learn with your parents. And if you learn with your parents, you're going to get a ticket. So you really want to make sure that you really want to make sure that you understand about these lines and pavement markings. And let's go an extreme example. If you don't stop on a right turn on red and turn, you will fail your road test. If you don't stop at a right turn on red and you just go, you're going to get hit. So that's a very literal sense. So you want to take things consistently. It's about safety. Is there any reason for specific colors? Of course there is. There are three colors. There are three colors. Signs are broken down by regulatory. A stop sign is a regulatory sign. All of you should know what stop is. If you don't stop, you get a ticket. That's really simple. Let's look at a warning sign of a school zone. It's yellow. That's warning. It's warning you that there are kids around. Most of you know this. Why? Because you're kids. You're not over 21. There are warning signs at schools. There's school zone and there's the school zone crossing. All of you have grown up seeing signs. So when you learn how to drive, it doesn't like change, but now you're driving. You're not riding a bike anymore. Thank you. You're not riding a bike anymore. You're driving a car. And if you blow a stop sign, you're going to kill someone. That's what's different. If you're riding your bike, you might be able to go through the stop sign and it's okay. But if you have a stop sign and you're riding your bike and you don't stop and you get hit, that's your fault. So I think you go from a little kid looking both ways to riding a bike, maybe still not stopping at a stop sign, to now you're driving a car. And when you drive a car and don't stop, now you got problems. So you're not riding a bike, you're riding in a car that's a weapon. So I think a lot of you still have that 10th, you're 10 years old, you're 12 years old. I'm riding in a car, but I don't have to follow the rules of the road. You do have to follow the rules of the road. And that's where a lot of you get into problems because you don't stop or you don't yield or you forget the rules of the right of way. So these signs will help you. So they're broken down by three categories. We have a regulatory, a warning, and a guide. Guide signs are green and white or blue and white. The hospital sign. Many of you have seen this before when you sprain your knee, you have a boo-boo, you break your arm skateboarding, okay? So most of you know what the blue sign is, okay? You haven't seen it a lot. Most of you know what a stop sign is. It's at the end of your block. It's on a road. Most of you know what a warning sign is, but you get in trouble when you see a crossing guard. They stick the stop sign in your face, right? And then you're like, oh, my school bus stopped at the railroads. They have to, it's state law. But you as a car, you don't have to stop at the railroad. You just look left and right. That's what a lot of you forget. So I think the transition from you on a skateboard, on a bicycle, to a car is difficult for some of you. And I'm kind of giving you the global perspective. What if a bus or something is parked and you cannot see oncoming traffic? You move past the bus or car or truck. If you can safely, you change lanes. That's a good question and it's pure. A lot of beginning drivers think, oh my God, there's a semi truck. If you stay by the semi truck, they're not going to see you and they're going to run you over because they don't see you. And that's your fault. If you stay by a school bus that stops at every stop, they don't see you and you could hit a kid. So what I need you to do when you see a semi truck, when you see a school bus, you follow the rules. When the warning lights come on, you start slowing down. Then when the stop arm comes out, you have to stop. Okay? It's really important that all of you understand the signs, because remember, you're going from an 8-year-old kid, a 10-year-old kid, a 13-year-old kid. Now you're in driver's education. Now it's real. And if you blow a stop sign, you kill someone. I didn't know that would happen. How are you not going to know? If you blow a light, I didn't know I hit someone. You ran a light. It's your fault. Ignorance is no excuse. So this is where all of you grow up. This is where some of you won't grow up because you think I'm just a teen, but you ran over someone. Okay? You killed someone because you didn't stop. And it's really important that you remember this is an adult responsibility. You're driving. So if you can't see and something is blocking you, you go slow, you drive around it. And then you get back to the correct side of the road. That is so important. Do you have to pass a cop slowly when someone is being pulled over? You want to get to the opposite lane. It's called the move over law because a police officer in our location was killed by a motorist who lost control, smashed his cruiser into a semi-truck, and he is dead. That should have never have happened. That driver was either under the influence, not paying attention, or distracted. And she will have manslaughter charges, period. So whenever you see a first responder, a police officer, a tow truck operator, you need to get over to the left lane if possible. You need to slow down because that could be your mom, that could be your dad, that could be someone in our community. So you want to try to change lanes if possible. If you can't, you slow down, you hug the middle, and allow that officer to do their job. What does the flashing yellow light mean? It means proceed with caution. I'm going to go to the light section. We all know what traffic lights are. You should be able to see this. Yellow means proceed with caution. But this confuses beginning drivers. Sometime early in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning, at some intersections, you have flashing yellow lights. It means proceed with caution. It doesn't mean stop in the middle of the street. I have beginning drivers stop in the middle of the street. We get hit by cars. Oh, I didn't know. You need to know this. It's because you're not reading. I hold you accountable. I'm going over the information. I'm showing you. Blinking yellow means proceed with caution. A blinking red means you stop. But beginning drivers mix up blinking yellow and blinking red. Flashing yellow means proceed with caution. So you have to know this. Will there be specific signs in different states? There are specific signs, different things. If we were in Florida, they might have manatees. If we were in Texas, they might have people who are traveling across the border. If we are in Ohio, you may have a sign of falling rocks. Every municipality, every state can make custom signs. Going up to Niagara Falls, New York, you have a picture of a waterfall. There's a lot of mist on the road. Every state or municipality can make custom signs. It's up to you as the driver to become familiar with those signs and understand, because knowledge is power. Pavement markings and parking lots are very dangerous, Harrison. Let's talk about this for a second. You have people walking out to the car, walking between cars. They disappear momentarily. You have a kid or a group of guys or girls running to the car. Maybe they're hiding behind the car and going to scare their friend. Maybe you just got into your car, you're late to work. You're kind of speeding through the parking lot. You don't see the kids hiding behind the car and they run across. You almost hit them or you run them over. So it's really important that you understand parking lots are the most dangerous. And unfortunately for you as beginning drivers, you're going to be driving to school maybe your 11th grade year, maybe your 12th grade year. Now you got a responsibility. You got to park. You got to walk into the building. You might want to try to beat the school buses out. You got to run to your car. You got to get in, but the crossing guard beats you. The school bus is there. You're like, man, and you get mad because you're late to your first day at work. It is what it is. So a lot of parents cut through the parking lot. They're going to run you and your friends over and your favorite teacher because they're in a hurry. Because I used to drop my son off. I used to drop my daughter off. I'm not going to cut through the parking lot and kill someone. I'm going to find the area that is least crowded, like at a football game. All of you go to football games. They're very dangerous. You have the opponents there. They hate your guts. High school rivalry. You got your parents who want to be there early. You got a dad whose son could get a scholarship. I was there before. I was that dad whose son got a scholarship. Okay, I'm going to be there first. I'm going to get a good seat. I'm going to set up the camera, right? He's going to look at me. I'm going to look at him. He knows I'm there. The family's there. Go make those plays. Go get that scholarship. You have the rivalry team. Boo! You got the bus coming, cheerleaders coming out, popcorn, hot dogs. Guys, you're only in high school one time. Oh, I don't like high school. You're only in high school one time. Why are you not enjoying this special moment? High school football games across the country are incredible, particularly in Texas. Okay, so you got the opposite team coming in, you got the number one running back in the country, the number one outside linebacker, and an offensive lineman who's 6'10", 360 pounds. Michigan, Florida, Alabama are looking at him. Scouts are in the audience, and the news companies there. That's exciting. But yet you beat this team because your coach is really good at drawing up plays. And then they want to fight afterwards. I'm not advocating a fight. I'm just simply telling you what happens at high school games. And then in the wintertime, you have basketball. You got wrestling. So you should get to your parking spots early. And then after you win the game, you're going to go out and hang out. That's a part of high school. Some of you won't get there because you won't get your license until your senior year. Or maybe your parents are like, I need you to come home right after. I don't want you going to the game. Those boys and girls are wild. Mom! Right? It's real life. But some of you will never get there because that's just who you are. So it's really important that you park maybe toward the end of the aisle, because when it's crowded, you can walk down to your car and simply leave. If you park up front, then you got to deal with teachers, coaches, everyone, and it's going to take 15 to 20 minutes to get out. And then your parents are going to be like, why are you late? I was just in the parking lot. I don't believe you. And now you're in an argument. What's the rule for passing? How fast should you go? You cannot exceed the speed limit. If you exceed the speed limit, or if it's not enough room, or there's a sign, and I'm going to find the sign. Give me a second. I'm going to find the sign. Number 10, this sign. No passing zone. You'll see this in an area where you can't pass. It's a warning sign. A lot of you will not pay attention to this, and then you hit a car head on, or maybe you're tired, or maybe your bestie's the cheerleader, or your friend's the quarterback, and he's being recruited by Texas, and the scouts are there, and Channel 10 News is there, and they're interviewing him, and he's doing a podcast, and your parents are like, where are you? I'm just waiting for Seth. You need to come home now. So high school games are very exciting across the country. Let's get a few more questions. You don't want to go over the speed limit. I can't advocate going over the speed limit. As an instructor, I legally can't say go over the speed limit. You have to use common sense. And you'll find out what speed you can go. Okay? And there's no, well, they're going to give me 2 over. If you go 2 over in the school zone, you're going to get pulled over. If you go 2 over in the neighborhood, you're going to get pulled over. You'll learn the variations. And you'll learn through your instructor teaching you, seeing your mom and dad. Your friends are still learning how to drive. They're 16, they're 17, they're 18. If you're over 18, that means you failed a couple grades. You can stay in high school until you're 21. Seriously, right? There's some special allowances, but after 21, you have time out of the high school system, okay? So, but you have a lot of beginning drivers out there who are in the band, who are football players, who are this, who are that, and they're just young drivers, and they get emotional. Man, they just beat us, man. That quarterback destroyed us. He blew up our secondary. Man, let's go talk to him. I want to jump him. Now you got the police. Now he videos. Mom, Dad, they're trying to jump me. I got a video. Call the police, honey. Do not leave. We'll be up there in 5 minutes. And then your dad's got a bad temper. Now you got a problem. True story. Not me, of course. So you got to make good decisions when you're driving, particularly for your friends. Thank you, Winter. Okay? You got to make good decisions when you're out there driving, and it's hard because you got your friends. Hey, I want to go to McDonald's. No, I want to go get pizza. No, I want to go to the after party. But you got to be in at 10:30. You're not going to the after party because your mom or dad has set a strict time limit. And that's where you're going to get in trouble. I'm just going to stay out. I'm not going to answer my phone. Your parents are going to follow you and embarrass you at a party. I've seen that too before. Because some parents don't play. Some of your parents, oh, you can do what you want. Other parents, I'm going to strangle you. I told you to come home. I'm worried about you. You didn't text, you didn't call. At least text and call. It's okay, updating drivers. We're going to get it fixed. Remember Friday, I said I'd probably be streaming. So signs and signals colors, blue, guide sign. The yellow is a warning sign, stop sign ahead. You should be able to see this. Warning sign, can't pass. Regulatory sign, stop sign. Most of you know this. Well, what if I don't stop? You get a ticket. What if I don't stop? You get killed. What if I don't stop? You get enough tickets, they're going to take your license. Oh. What if I get lost? You don't know how to read signs. But I have Google Maps. You don't know how to read signs. You can't rely on a computer system. You still have to learn how to read signs. And a lot of beginning drivers don't know how to drive home. I've had clients drive themselves home. How do I get home? You don't know how to get home? Whoa. You need to learn more than one way home. You need to learn more than one way home. There was a traffic jam today. I took a different road home. The biggest sign of confusion is your roundabouts. A lot of you will panic on roundabouts. You yield to traffic. Next, probably confusing sign, railroad crossing. You want to look left and right. In our location, you have to look left and right. If you're a school bus driver, you have to stop. You turn on your flashers, you look left and right. If you're a semi-truck driver hauling hazardous materials, you have to stop. Burnouts, that's only a specific location, drag strip. Semi-truck drivers carrying gasoline, hazardous materials have to stop. The Chevron alignment signs, number 17. A lot of you will go too fast on the expressway and almost roll the car over because you don't understand these signs will tell you it's a very sharp turn, reduce speed. A lot of you won't pay attention. Also, the warning sign for exit speed. Some of you will go 50. Some of you will go 60. It's too late. We're going to roll the car, particularly in the wintertime. Because it's cold in the wintertime. We don't have the heat on the road. We're moving pretty fast. I've seen a lot of kids put the car into the ditch, and it's scary. Trying to think of some other common things. We talked about pavement markings. Double yellow. Let's look at lane F. I don't know if you can see it or not. Lane F. Okay. If you have to make a right turn, some lanes have a designated lane to make a right turn. A lot of you, I ask you to make a right turn, you're like, right turn? Where do I go? You've got to look at the pavement markings. They guide you. We talked about traffic signals and signs. A lot of you aren't paying attention and you run red lights. This is when we get killed. I'm not getting killed. I'm not going to let you kill me. You're not paying attention. I have ADHD. I have anger issues. I don't like adult authority. I have oppositional. You're driving. You have to make good decisions. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm your instructor. A lot of you like to argue with your parent. If you argue with me, I'm not driving you. You've got to make good decisions. You should know yellow means proceed with caution. Don't slam brakes. If you're more than 100 feet, 150 feet away, you should be able to stop safely. I'm just going to go through. No, you're not. You have time to stop. And then your instructor hits the brake on you. And then you get embarrassed because you got girls in the back seat. Or you're going to be driving and there's more than 2 people in the back. Now you have peer pressure. A lot of you will drive different with your friends because there's peer pressure. Oh, you drive slow, bro. What? You drive fast, bro. You drive scary. A lot of your friends will say this. So you want to make sure that you understand. I'm just highlighting some of the things, showing you some of the things that I think can help you. This roundabout, this is on page 31. This roundabout, I don't know if you can see that or not. My lens is not focusing enough. Roundabouts, yield to traffic already in the roundabout. Yield to it. Okay, type what you learned. Type what you learned in the chat. Type it. Hey, we're going through a lot of this information. Burnouts are for a racetrack, okay? Or drifting in a secure area where you sign a waiver. If you crash, then you crash. Burnouts are not for the street. Many of you are just talking because if you did a burnout, your car's going to be taken away by the police. So I know a lot of you are random. Okay, a lot of drivers don't understand signs, signals, and pavement markings. And then this is confusion for a beginning driver, adds a lot of anxiety. It's confusion for a instructor. So you really got to understand your signs and signals. You got to understand this. And if you don't understand this, you're going to struggle. Why won't drivers use their signals? They're lazy. They don't care. I had a question. Why won't drivers use their signals? I think it's laziness. And I think by using a signal, at least 3 blinks up to 5. Remember, our eyes are attracted to light. Use your signal to let people know that you want to make a lane change. And this will, and then you have to look. You got to check your mirror. Does this person see me? Is there room to my left or right? A lot of you are not driving cars that have blind spot detection. You're going to have to look over your shoulder. Beginner drivers grip the wheel and overturn. You got to learn to, you got to be smooth as possible. Okay? That high school senior, they park really good. They roll up their windows. They have their backpack. They have all their chemistry book, geometry book. They're first in class. They say hi to the teacher. They help the teacher clean up. Freshman, sophomore, junior, you coming in a hot mess. You're late. You don't smell good. You're not dressed properly. People look at that. You can tell a new driver. They park sideways in the parking spot. They leave. They lock their keys in the car. Always have a second set of keys at your house. Seriously. Okay? Seniors are well respected because they put in the work. They're not a freshman skipping. They're not arguing with the teacher. They're not fighting in the bathroom and posting on social media. They're working with the school. They want to make it beautiful. At the game, they're cheering. Zach, you're going to get a scholarship. The Alabama coach is here. I just posted it for you on Instagram, right? And you're only in high school one time. And then some of you will be lost. Do I go to community college? What do I do? And you're going to have to drive. So COVID has changed that. Don't let peer pressure affect your driving. What you said. You're supposed to always have your lights on in general. This is correct. You want to see and be seen. Love that. when dealing with police, give them room. Also, if a police officer is in the middle of the intersection, maybe the light doesn't work, they are the traffic control person. A lot of students focus on that. Blinking yellow means pass with caution, proceed with caution. Have a question about the roundabout? Yes, if you're going around to the right, you use your right turn signal if you're making a right at the roundabout. If you're going straight through, no blinker is needed. I looked it up. It varies from municipality to municipality. Okay? In Texas, it might be different than in Alabama. In Alabama, it might be different than Michigan. In Michigan, it might be different than Washington. It's your responsibility to know the motor vehicle code. You got to know this. You go to Toronto, they might have different rules there. Well, in my state, ma'am, you're in Toronto, license, registration, proof of insurance, you're getting a ticket. I learned more about the road markings and what they mean. Like cars, like people, students, they joke around. We all have a sense of humor. I have a good sense of humor, but it's serious. And I'm trying to remind you of your short moment in your life. If you are a junior, you got 2 years left in high school. Your friend group, your girls, your boys, when you're out, now you got to make a decision. Am I going to college? Am I just going to go straight to work? Am I going to go trade school? You can't just lie home in your mama's basement. People do joke, and if we go up to the high school, you'll see burnout marks in donuts, not the donuts you eat, but people being silly. And you'll hang out at the high school, you'll talk to your friends. That's only a special moment. You're only in high school one time. I've learned that you cannot go over the speed limit, yield to roundabouts, be super careful when driving because you don't want to die. Unfortunately, in your age group dies in a car. After about 24, it drops down. You're out of school. You might be thinking about getting married. You might have a child on the way. Your parents are like, oh my God, you got a job. You're going to get a house. You're going to move out. Yay. So a lot is going to happen between 16 and 26, 10 years. Wow, I'm going to finish school. Yeah. You're going to have good grades in math and science to get a good job. You're going to go to a nice college or community college or start your trade. College isn't for everyone. You got to learn about road signs, pavement markings. You're going to go to a lot of sports games. Do we ignore the backseat drivers? I love that. Always tell the truth. Whoever's in the front seat is your pilot. If your dad's in the front, you listen to dad. If someone is in the back talking to you, you got to listen to who is in the front. You do have backseat drivers. Your little brother, oh my God, you're going to kill me. Mom, can you get this insect? That's your brother or sister. So your brother and sister might overreact, and that's going to make you like crazy nervous. Okay? Or your brother or sister's in middle school, elementary. Oh my God, I'm about to die. Dad, handle that. Stop. Your brother is driving to school. He's got 3 roundabouts and a deer came out. Okay? So you gotta talk to your family. Backseat drivers can stress you out, and the more passengers you have, they can stress you out too.